Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Nigeria Decide 2019 on Heritage TV, a program that is designed, dedicated, and is going to continue to show the Nigerian electorates what obtainable in 2019 election, what they must know, what they should know, when they should know it, and how. All the reasons, because we're talking of a time the politicians will be coming to you. Here, you are the most important people in this business of election of 2019. You are the one that is going to give them the power. And we want to ensure on this program that you know exactly what to do. We'll be giving you all the necessary advice. And I must also say that in your own interest, this is a time when you can make the change you want. The change you want in the sense that you want to know who you want to vote for, and who you want to vote for, and why you should vote for this particular party or persons. With me on the desk today, on set, is my regular co-host, Jerry Cransell.
Thank you so much.
You know him very well. And also on my left is also another co-host. He's also a host on his own right. Tony was a talk show host.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toba. Thank you, Toba. It's great to be here.
Again, we want to start by discussing or bringing to your listening the trending issues. We have tried many times to leave June 12, but it looks like June 12 won't go away. But for me, if you ask me, let's try something. If by next week June 12 still haven't gone, do bring it to your delight. A day when I was going through my WhatsApp messages, and guess what I saw? A huge billboard on most of the London buses showing adverts of Governor of Rivers State, Wike, advertising on big billboard. And you know what I did? I quickly went to Google it to wanted to find out. Number one, apart from, I don't know what the relevance is, what it is for. Yeah. Is it for the Rivers indigenes in the UK?
Right.
Then I found out that this advert minimum cost about £63,000.
63,900.
Oh, sorry. It's a huge amount of money. If that is translated to Naira, it will pay for a better education. It will put more food on the table of many
Nigerians.
No, let's
indigenes
of Rivers.
Well, he's not the only one doing it.
So for me, I want to start with you, Tony.
Guys.
You are from which of the states are you?
From Imo State.
From Imo State.
Thank God I'm not from Rivers.
Well, you are that's a state of status.
Excuse me, yours is coming.
These are states where more statues are built than even. What's that place in Baker Street?
Is it Madame Tussauds?
There are more at least I've not been seeing that there are more.
Actually, they're planning on erecting my own statue as well.
So, Tony, what was your quick reaction to having sent you that? What I saw.
It's beyond infuriating. It's beyond infuriating. It can't get worse than that. I mean, for goodness sake, what is the virtue of spending £63,000 sterling, not Naira? Even if we're 63,000 Naira, what is the virtue?
We're talking about per week?
In spending that amount of money per week, advertising in London. I mean, is it to Rivers indigenes or is it to Nigerians who are not legally allowed to vote in Nigeria elections? I mean, it's the height of avarice. It's the height of avarice.
Is that the way you look at it?
That's the way I see it, because I can't see
But if this man says, you know what, I don't want to leave the indigenes of my state behind they are diaspora, and you know the meaning of diaspora, that we are scattered all over the world.
Yes.
So for me, the question again, in addition to what you are saying, is:
Yes.
Is it going to be done in Indonesia? Is it going to be done in America? Is it going to? So,
Exactly.
but don't let me start making opinion, Jerry.
For me, I think advertising, they call it on the bus, it's called mega T advertising on the side of London red buses is short-sighted, it is stupid, it's myopic, and it's a ploy to siphon money. I mean, how do you justify it? For a governor who's not paid his staff for months, for a governor who's gone somewhere up in the north to go and donate some obscene amount of money, and then you're coming to do this in London. I mean, of what significance, of what, I can't find words to describe how infuriated I was when I saw it, as though that's not bad enough. The governor of Lagos State, Ambode, is doing exactly the same thing. So like you rightly said, is it happening in New York?
Right.
Is it happening in Jakarta?
Right.
Is it happening in Tehran?
Yeah, they got to do in
California?
Right.
I mean, how many cities are you going to advertise and pay such amount of money
No.
for how many people?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'm thinking, I might be wrong, please prove me wrong. If the governor of a state chooses to spend the money of the people this way, what's he saying to the people?
You're stupid.
Precisely, he has, he has no respect for the people.
That's what he's saying.
He
You're
has
stupid.
no respect for the taxes.
Is this a sign of he's accountable to them or not?
Yes,
accountable.
it's clearly not accountable. He clearly doesn't give two hoots about what they think or do not think. He clearly feels he can do whatever he likes with the treasury. But it brings us to a larger issue in our country, Otuba. It's a larger issue. Why, we live in a climate that does not frown at this level of stupidity. It is the climate in which we live, or which we permit, that allows, our governors, our elected leaders, to
do stupid things.
to
like
do
this.
silly things
Yeah,
because
but
there's
you
no
see,
consequence.
Gentlemen, also from experience
Yes.
and from education of how to deal with the public, isn't it cheaper for these politicians to keep their own people permanently in penury? Because it's cheaper for them to do every 4 years they go to the market and buy them again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from.
And I think that's what they're doing.
Well, it's about time the people in our country start telling them, you know something? Go to hell.
Yeah.
Because
Who?
the electorate should start telling these people to go
But,
to hell.
but you're dealing with electorate that have been seriously bastardized.
Now, this is the time for them to start
And that's why
listening.
what we're trying to
Yeah,
correct
time
that
to start
anomaly.
listening
Yes.
and opening their eyes, because your father did it, your forefather did it, your mother and grandmother did it, and you're achieving the same result, and you're stupidly sleepwalking into the same situation. How long do you think you can do that? So how come I want 8 years? Right? I'll give you the bread, but I'm not going to take it back in tenfolds,
Yes.
and I'll spend 8 years.
Yes.
You go, you do the same thing. You go, you do the same thing. By the time the three of us we do the same thing to you,
Yes.
you are nearing your grave.
Yes.
And you have not,
That's 24 years already gone.
yes, gone.
Yeah.
And you have not achieved anything in your life as a human being.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, like they say, you're just like a snake that is crawl on the rock. You won't have left any footprint.
Yeah.
And it's the same governor
Yeah.
who had the audacity to tell Nigerians and tell us that, indicting number 3 man in Nigeria, exposing him, will stop investors coming into the country. How stupid can you be?
I read that and I was like, I say, hang on a minute, what's going on?
This is Governor Wike. isn't
Yes,
it?
but the same, of course.
Governor Wike,
We go to other states. We have 36 states. to go.
indicting number 3 man.
Yeah, will stop
I mean,
investors coming into the country.
it tells Nigerians all they need to know about the elected leaders we have. especially this gentleman, for instance, obviously absolutely brain dead, no clue what we're talking about, no respect for the electorate, no respect for the people, because, if you're more concerned about the feelings of the fellow who's allegedly committed a crime, or the investors who are going to bring money. I mean, what investor will want to bring money anyway to an environment where people can take 10%, 20%, do whatever they like before, lawlessness. That's the larger larger picture.
What you are saying, you guys, now is the reason why an average investor would not want to come to Nigeria are already there anyway.
Yes.
They're already
The corruption.
Yes.
Some other lawlessness.
Yes, is there.
Not value for human beings.
No insecurity.
Do you think? I mean, do you agree with that?
Yes,
So
yes.
Not
Absolutely.
to even now talk, putting salt on top of
No,
the.
you're rubbing. You're rubbing acid into the wound.
Into the wound.
So that
by
is-
saying, by prosecuting number 3 man,
Yeah.
the logic is warped.
I have a problem though. The problem is here we're sitting down here talking and trying to speak for these ordinary people. How do we get this message to them? Because like I said in our intro, we're doing everything possible to pass message, information to our people, to ordinary people.
Right.
But is the ordinary man in a very rural area of Rivers State, he doesn't know what we are doing.
Yeah, but
These people that are already confined to their domain in the bush, they only come out every 4 years to come and vote based on what they give them.
Yes.
How do we get this message closer home? You understand?
Yes, I do. I think it's actually quite simple. The truth of the matter is that in the democracy is messy and it grows over time. And nations mature over time. And I still maintain that Nigeria is an infant democracy. And so our people are not as educated in terms of the electoral process and the political process as they ought to be. But we can't say because, the people in the villages and the masses don't know, that it will stop there. So we can't say that. So we continue doing what we're doing. We continue to, some of you are going to write books, so some of you are going to publish papers, and so on and so on. So it's a continuum. So the more programs like this go on, the more the audience at home participate and engage with us in the conversation, then, we're going to rub minds together. And then, of course, like we tell the audience all the time, everybody has a cell phone now. Share this program with all your friends and family.
That's a nice one because
Yeah.
an average variant, or how do you call them?
Yes.
Probably is.
Cleaner,
They
driver,
have a mobile phone.
you
Then
know,
you can show
even
them,
a hawker.
This is how then they spend your money.
Yes, this is how they spend your money, yes.
Is there any other way you think we can reach out to people of Lagos State, all the governors that are spending their hard-earned currency here? How can we get it? Because I'm thinking of people at somewhere
you're talking of even Lagos State.
in Lagos State.
That's even okay. What about people in Kaura Namoda? What about people in Arondizogo?
Yeah.
What about people in Item? What
Yeah.
about people in the backwood of Akure?
Yes.
Oshogbo, Obomosho? Those people are in the villages. The thing is this: the political terrain is changing in the sense that, like Tony rightly said,
with the advent of mobile phone.
everybody is carrying one form of mobile phone or the other.
Yes.
And
But most of them are not smart too.
you don't have
Most
to
of
be
them are not smartphones.
Okay, now this is where it works fine. My mother is in the village.
Yes.
I'm in town.
Yeah.
I have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I'm able to watch programs like ours
Yes.
where I am educated.
Yes.
I go home for the weekend and I'm
Yes.
going to sit mom down and say, Mama,
Yeah.
you know something?
Yeah.
This is coming from me. This is,
Yeah.
you know something, Mama?
Yeah.
If anybody comes to you to give you money, to give you Ankara, and to give you Ororo and chicken,
For you to vote for them.
for you to vote for them,
Yes.
the fact that they
You did
came
not
to
add bag
you
of rice.
and a bag of rice or whatever. You see, this bag of rice is not even big. It's something like
Yeah,
a
minimum 5 kilo now. That
5
would be-
kilo is big, man. What are you talking about? You know, like a kilo
Right.
that you will cook, and before you know what's happening, it's gone.
Yes.
Eh? They don't even give them proper chicken. The thigh of the chicken is like this. You won't go and put it in your mouth and it's gone. Now, what I would now tell my mother,
Yes.
for me, this is what I would tell my mom.
Yes.
The fact that somebody comes to you
Yes.
to give you money to vote for them
Yes.
already tells you that the person is not clean.
Yes.
The person should come to you and sit you down and say, Mama, Mommy,
Yeah.
and sell ideology to you.
Yes.
And tell you how they're going to bring solar energy into your village.
Vote for me because of my ideas.
Because of this and that. So, Mommy,
Yeah.
take the money, take the Ankara, but don't vote for him.
Right. Right.
That is what I would tell my
That's what
mother.
you're going to say. But
Yes.
then there's this scenario, there's this possibility that depends if your mama is an educated
That's
Nigerian.
where I become my mother's conscience, my mother's ears, my mother's
Because-
eyes. Because I'm educated.
Yes.
Yes.
I have listened to programs like this.
Yes.
My mind is open.
Yeah.
My job is to go back to the village
Yes.
And inform my mother.
enlighten and inform my mother.
Yes. And everybody else.
And
Yes,
everybody
then-
else will know.
Then I'm not being difficult. I'm not trying to.
Please be as
I'm
difficult as
just,
you want
yes,
to.
I'm just saying to you, how many of you do we have
Yes.
in your state? Because if we have many of you, we should not be discussing this today. Because Nigeria will have moved forward. Because the Nigerians, they are failed. The Nigerians are victims of their own people.
Yes.
The people
Otumba,
who
you
are
only need
highly
to
educated, the
convince
elites,
one
the
person.
so-called elites, fail them.
Okay, Otumba, you only need to convince one person in my village
Yeah.
to see a tide turn.
Yeah.
That tide might not take over the whole village,
Yeah.
but there's a rippling effect.
Yeah.
When I now open my eyes and say, look at what they've been doing to me.
Yes.
Then I realize that they have kept me grounded. They've kept my mother, my father, my uncles, my brothers and sisters, they've kept them grounded, mired into the dust for so long.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I can see that I can actually take my foot out of the mud.
Yeah.
Right? All I tell you is, hey, you know something? Put your hand under that your knee. Lift it. That is, your foot is now, one foot is out of the mud.
Yes.
Once that is impacted into one person or the other
Yes.
in my village,
Yes.
the rippling effect carries to a point where you don't realize.
I will agree, but how easy, how practicable is what Jerry is saying? I want to hear you say, for example, this instruction
Yes.
will be heeded to
Yes.
if along the line
Yes.
you give them the instruction, tie it to finance.
Right.
We discussed that
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
We said,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mama,
Yes.
what I'm telling you
Yes.
is real.
Yes.
I might not be there the day you are going to vote,
Yes.
but if this action is not
Yeah.
put into action,
Yes.
if this,
Nothing is coming.
I will not.
You're
Yes.
talking of those of us in the diaspora now.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
Right.
course, we are in diaspora.
Right.
We're doing and I would say we're doing a very, very good job because they do appreciate. If that is the appreciation is what Governor of Lagos State and Rivers State is saying, this is not the way to appreciate us.
So it's,
Because you
in
cannot-
essence, we're saying
the
that
money,
even
the money
if-
go to
If we
London
political-
transport.
If we politically blackmail our people to do the right thing, so be it.
So because the
Oh, yes,
the
why
unfortunate
not?
thing is that this 63,000 in many days.
It's
because
annoying.
you see, it doesn't also. I don't know. Doesn't make so much sense because this is not going to be a one-off thing. It's going
No.
to continue. In minimum, in some cases,
It's offensive.
The advertiser,
Hundreds of thousands.
they will. You will have to sign a kind of minimum. It has to run for
At least 3 months.
Yes.
3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. or so.
63,000 times. 2 weeks, is it 1 week?
No, for a week.
For a week
Per
times,
site.
Yeah.
times month times.
Times 4 times 3.
Don't bother calculate. It's offensive.
It is offensive.
It's
I cannot-
offensive.
I cannot agree more.
Yeah. It's just downright offensive.
Wait,
And, you know.
Tony. Why will any right-thinking governor
Yes.
who has the interest of his people at heart, who is thinking, who has hopes and aspiration for his people to move them forward
Yeah.
into the kind of millennium we are,
Yes.
spend that kind of money from a developing country, come and pour money into a completely developed nation that don't need your money.
Right.
As though that's not bad enough. What about all the downfalls on the streets of Lagos?
Right.
What about all the Ekenedi Chukus that are traveling to other parts of the country
Right.
from Lagos,
Right.
from Port Harcourt? Why don't you do that advert on the side of these buses, and in the same process, help to lift the businesses of our local people.
Yes.
Why do you have to come to London? London Transport is wallowing in money.
Exactly.
I still want to take you guys on another area, still within this argument of the question is going to be why are they doing it? But we have to go on a short break.
Okay.
So when we come back,
Okay.
I want to start with you, Tony.
Okay.
Why are they doing it?
Okay.
Don't go away.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries, and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
Welcome back to Nigeria Decides 2019 on Heritage TV, a weekly program which Heritage TV UK they are designed to help the electorates come 2019. Yes, it is true that we don't have votes. Yes, but we have one strong power, that is our connection with our people. We use it and we want to mobilize our people to understand the reason why they should vote, and we insisted that they must go and get their PVC, they must participate, because many of them do not understand until when you tell them that the power they are talking about, even the power of the president, is from him or her. If they don't give that power, they cannot be seen or like their president. Now, the question before we went on break was why these governors or why some politicians taking their own people for it? Why are they doing it?
It's the same reason why they might decide to spend government money, taking their girlfriends to Dubai and spending government
paying 78 million for rent, like some cases.
Exactly. It's the same reason why some senators, might do that. It's the same reason why the government would award contracts and then the job doesn't get done, but the money gets paid out. It's the same reason why the nation's in a mess.
What's the reason?
It comes down to
rule
of law. Rule of law. It comes down to rule of law. The absence of rule of law is anarchy. Nothing happens. They get away with it. People get away with murder in Nigeria. It's the absence of rule of law. And that's why we have this nonsense going on.
Is it because the ordinary man, ordinary Nigerian is so powerless?
They're not powerless. They might think they're powerless, but they're not. What our people need to begin to do is to mobilize themselves. They need to begin to understand that the power actually lies in your hands.
Jerry, do you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
Question again, why are they doing it to their own people?
Okay. There is something called educated illiterates.
Educated illiterate. How does that work?
Okay. The fact that you've gone to school does not make you educated. There's a thing. It's either you pass through the university or you pass through the financial the educational institutions, or the institution passes through you.
Yeah.
So which one should we be looking at?
When our so-called leaders, right, beg the electorate for the mandate of the people to get there, believe it or not, they are clueless. They have only one thing at the back of your mind: how to rape and pillage the people. So they have no respect for the electorate. They have no respect for law and order, because law and order does not work. They take the people for granted, right? There is no accountability.
Believing people cannot revolt.
Yes, there is no accountability. I mean, it's a case of Kilesi. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And realistically, what do the people do? You see, I will steal your money, then I'll come and give the same money to you, and you go, hey, Twale Baba, Ranka Dedi. Whereas, we live in a society here. I mean, okay, maybe I've not lived there for too long, but at least I have lived there for a few years. I have never seen a politician in this country dole out money to the electorate.
I mean, he'll be busy explaining himself at
Where did
question
you get the
time.
money from in the first place?
He'll be busy question time.
Let's look at the camera and talk to our people. What's the meaning of accountability to them? What should accountability mean to an average Nigerian who wants to vote in 2009? What should be the expectations, the aspirations? What should they be looking for?
You want me to go?
Yeah, please. Start with you.
Why did you vote that man into the position you voted in the first place? You can't call yourself a victim when you collude with the man to put him there so that he can come turn around and rob you blind. Did you listen to his manifesto? Did you read? Did you listen to his advice? What did he promise you that he was going to do? And when you are now giving him your vote, in return that these are the things you have put down. You are signing a contract with me. If you don't adhere to the spirit of the contract, I'm going to pull you down. Did you do that? Now, this is a time for you, as an individual, as a Nigerian, as a human being. You are now being given another opportunity, especially the young ones, because you make a big chunk of the nation. Like I say, people like me, the generation that's actually bastardized you and kept you down there because we have the money, we've done you wrong. Question is,
are you one of them?
yes, I'm complicit.
Oh wow, wonderful.
I'm complicit because it was happening and I didn't say anything. I ran out of the country to come and live here, so I'm complicit. Right? The question is,
I must also admit, I mean, at 71,
you're complicit.
yeah, well, we should have done better.
In
I mean, we
another
could have done
30
better.
years, do you think I'll still be here? If I'm here, it's by the grace of God in another 30 years because I'm closer to 70 than I am to 60. Okay? But how old are you? In another 30 years, will you want us to rape the country, pillage the country, tear the country apart, and then you will come and live in it? If you don't want it, this is the time for you to start asking questions.
Yes.
And
Tony,
making your vote count.
accountability.
Yeah.
How important is accountability to
Yeah.
ordinary people?
It-
What are the effects? What are the side effects of a government is not accountable
Yeah.
to the electorates, to the people that
It-
put them there?
it's-
What are the side effects?
The side effects are just numerous. Too many to count. I mean, it's everything. I mean, democracy by definition is government of the people, by the people, for the benefit
Of the people.
of the people.
What benefit are we talking about now?
You know, at the very least, a level playing ground. At the very basic things, yes, yeah. At the very least, law and order. At the very least, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. At the very least, you know,
Security of life and property.
security of life and property. Every Nigerian is entitled to expect that their leaders.
Is it fundamental?
It's a fundamental thing. You know, it's
Freedom
not
of
things-
speech.
Freedom of speech. You know, it's a fundamental. You know, it's guaranteed by law. You know, but and also justice, speedy justice, because justice delayed is justice denied. You know, so people are wronged, are arrested, and thrown in police cell
Without investigation,
without
without
charge, without a charge. You know, against them, and so it's all wrong. And so the lack of accountability becomes a cancer that's, you know, going through the fiber of our nation. And there's no one else who's going to hold accountable for that other than the appointed leaders. But the citizens,
Yeah,
the citizens have also a major responsibility because we have the power of recall, we have the power to mobilize, we have the power of protest, we have the power of civil disobedience, we have the power to write an op-ed, you know, and so on and so forth. So ultimately, you know, we might say that the government is to blame, but who's responsible? The citizens are responsible.
So,
Citizens are the government.
Yes, if these people say, yeah, okay, we had you, you sat me down and say, I should do this, I should do that. How do I get it done? What will you advise ordinary Nigerian to do now? Number one, to get
it's very hard when you have impoverished the people, and then all of a sudden you're giving them bread, and for them to say, I'm not going to take the bread. Like I say, take the bread, sustain yourself, and educate yourself. Open your mind. Like Bob Marley said in his song, until the philosophy of one Nigerian, right, is equal to the other Nigerian, until the man from the north is no longer superior than the man from the south, until the color of the man from the southwest of his eyes is of no significance to the color of the eye of the man in the northwest, we will have anarchy.
Yeah.
We will have war.
Will you say, number one, Mama, Auntie, Bro, whatever, go get PVC first and
Get your PVC, make it count. Get your PVC.
Yeah, get PVC and what other are you going to advise them to do?
Make sure that the person you are going to vote for, you know what you want to vote for. What are they going to offer you? Don't say because they have given you something, then you get swayed.
Yeah.
Take it. If 10 of them come to you, take all the 10 and then sit down and look up of all these people who came to you with any idea.
PVC is fundamental here.
Without the people, how can you score the goal when you're not on the field?
Yeah.
So they need to get PVC and
Get
make
your
sure,
voter's card.
and they
Get
should be
your
asking
voter's card.
questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the PVC is your American Express card, which says don't leave home without it.
Yes.
You can't afford not to have your PVC. You might as well not be a citizen if you don't have your PVC.
Yeah.
You have to get your PVC. No matter, I think from 18 and above, you can vote in Nigeria. Get that PVC and get your brothers, your sisters, your family, all your friends. Make sure everybody's got it. And then arrange to vote. Because people will get the PVC. They'll register to vote as citizens. But on election day, they will not go and vote. So you can't, that's
What would be
nonsensical.
the probable, because I'm about to touch that area, because
Yes.
it's one thing for them to get PVC. It's another thing for them to be intimidated by, you and I know now. I mean, it's in the open. We're not making up stories.
Thuggery.
The thuggery,
Yes.
thuggery in politics
Yes.
of many African countries,
Yes.
which I think is sad.
Yes.
If my auntie gets her PVC ready to go, and then on the day of election, she's now being intimidated.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
How do we solve that problem?
It's a continual problem. It's going to be evolving. Nigeria, like I said, is an infant democracy. As we keep working on this, it's going to keep changing. But simple things people can do. Number one, understand your PVC is your ticket to a better Nigeria. If you don't exercise that vote, no matter what it takes, you just have to go get your vote done. If you don't exercise it, you might as well just throw your hands up in the air and don't complain, because you cannot complain about what you tolerate. You understand?
You accept it already. So.
Yes, you accept it.
And that's where I'm having an issue with Jerry.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, if you insist, I mean, these are convergent opinions, different opinions.
Right.
I will insist, don't even get yourself into collecting anything.
Collect
You enter
it.
You are, of course, I would say do not, because the moment you collect something, the talks will be after you and say,
The talks
and
don't, how many are the talks going to go after?
we just
understand
saying
the
it.
sentiment.
How many are the talks going to go after?
Listen,
You're not
listen.
going to be there with me when I'm voting.
Listen, well, but that might be a small plus.
You're not going to be there when I'm voting.
but
I'll
you-
vote my
I
conscience.
hope-
I'll take your money,
but you
and you
see-
cannot prove that I did not vote for
Yes.
you anyway.
Yes, and that's why we need to intensify this program, education, or
Yes.
this program, to let them know that. You see, another thing I want to say in addition to that is, most of these talks, and even the handler, I mean, the people that they are paymasters, they are very small. They are weaklings. They don't have. You see, if they sure of what they are doing, if they think they are powerful,
Yes.
they don't need talks. Do we need talks in
Actually,
politics like that?
realistically,
Do we need talks?
no, actually, realistically, this program is a program that is formulated to advise, enlighten, and shed light on not just your voting rights for that day. How can you call yourself a Nigerian when you have given the pledge to say, I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, and then you will now allow one guy to use you as a thug to intimidate another Nigerian. This same man who is using you as a thug,
Yes.
hasn't he got children? Where are his children schooling?
Some of them.
Yeah,
oh,
the,
sorry,
larger,
I mean,
the larger question there is,
Yes.
is the issue of education. The reason why all that's able to occur is because the guy who's accepting to be a thug has very little education. I think you can assume
Well, he
that.
can do better.
Of course, he can do better, but you can assume that he has very little education. That's why he's easily persuaded to get into thuggery and so on and so forth. And then you're going to have remnants like that in the society. But what citizens can do is, number one, have an appreciation of the fact that that PVC is your license to a better Nigeria. So you must get it, number one. Number two, you must exercise that vote, which is your duty as a citizen, you know. And number three, you need to fight for it. So don't allow yourself
it's not going to come for free.
Yeah, it's not going to
Also,
come free.
before
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
actually move to the next
Yes,
one,
yes.
look at it from this point.
Yeah.
If you are a proper and a true Nigerian,
Yes.
and you are wearing the police uniform,
Yes.
we have tasked you
Yes.
with a role,
Yes.
right? If law and order is actually in place and working,
Yes.
there will be no thuggery
Yes. Yes.
in our political arena.
Probably
yeah,
not.
yeah, that's-
And I also have a very good news.
Yes.
Good news to our viewers, our listeners all over the world, and they can share this with me and they can challenge. Now, all what they need to do is we pumping in that kind of courage into them
Yes.
to let them understand
Yes.
that both the candidates, the so-called some very few talks left,
Yes.
they are all nobody.
Yes.
They are small people.
These are
They are
bullies.
small
They're
minded
bullies.
people.
Yes.
Because I tell you something, the good news is most of the well-known talks,
Yes.
renowned talks in Nigeria,
Right.
most of them are now sending their children, say, we missed the boat. I do not want my, some of them are sending their children
I
to,
saw a
yes,
photograph
yes.
of one motoboy,
Yeah,
motopack
well, we don't know where.
kingpin. I've
Yes.
forgotten his name.
No, we don't need the name, but I
I've
share that.
forgotten- I've
Yeah,
forgotten his name.
sending
But
their
if-
children.
If I remember his name, I'll say it here because
Yeah, sending their
on this
children.
program, no, but see, I don't care whose ox is God.
As long as the people get the message.
As long as
Yeah.
the guy send his children to go to university, and
In-
I'm talking
in
of
New York.
Ivy League university.
Yes,
Right, right,
yes,
So
right.
if
yes.
a thug,
Yes.
if a thug is doing that,
Yeah.
why are you running around
Yeah.
doing his dirty work?
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
as it is now, talks, please do not forget that it's not only you that's going to suffer. You are born to this world not to be thugs.
Yes.
You are born to this world. If you miss the boat of not having education, I can tell you, if you create an enabling environment by installing or electing a proper government that will serve you, you can go back to school. People can get all what they missed. I went to study law at the age of 49. So it's because the opportunity
Listen,
is
as
available here.
when I was, what was it? Just about when I had my accident, I think I was about 4 years ago, I was about 62 or so.
Right.
I've actually been admitted into South Bank University to go and read law.
Right.
And I had this
No.
accident
You
that
can still
laid
go
me.
back.
Of course, you think I'm not going to go back?
There is a former,
course I'm going
there's a
back.
former very high profile politician in this country.
Yes.
Yakubu Gowon came to
Jeffrey
this-
Asher.
Jeffrey
Her
Asher.
mother went to get a degree at the age of 72. Yeah, so
Yakubu Gowon, after being a head of state, came down to this country and went back to school.
yes.
Right.
So
So
this
why can't you
message,
do it?
this message is for the talks.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no reason why you want to remain talks.
Why do you want
And
to be
as
a
you can
thug?
see, talks. If the police, there's any problem in your area, the first person they go to look, you might be very busy sleeping. They come and pick you up.
For
so
what?
now, 2019, do business, cooperate, work together with other electorates and say, you know what, enough is enough. Let us vote for somebody. And when you vote for anybody, even for whatever, you are entitled to ask questions and say, Mr. Blah blah blah. When you win, you must do what you have to do.
Yes.
And you also have to stop
Yes.
patronizing governor. Governor Kratos, and then you are going start dancing, romancing him. Say, thank you very much. You elected him to do what?
To do your job for you. Why are you going to tell him thank you? He's your servant.
Exactly.
Make him realize that he's your servant.
Yes.
And also, I also wanted to touch an area. Many people do not understand what do we mean by fair, free, and credible election. How does that work?
Well, at the very lowest level, it's having in our case, we have INEC organizing the election. In such
Is
a
it
way that,
the umpire?
yeah, the umpire. Who's the umpire for the election? Doing their job properly. Making sure they have enough people in each state, each ward. Carrying out a greater environment that enables citizens to be able to go and exercise their civic duty. So that people can actually go and vote without fear or intimidation or stuff like that. And then counting the votes properly in a timely manner and announcing them properly. So we need that. But for sure, we're not there yet. So for this election coming, well, it's a continuum. So for this election, for instance, we should be looking to invite the European Union, invite the Americans, also invite international bodies to come and help supervise, to make, because we have nothing to lose by doing that. Nigeria is an infant democracy, and then with that supervision, it should help us get a better, our pride is shattered by things like that. But sometimes you have to put your pride aside. I say, well, let's get the help we need in order to get to where we need to get to.
Tony, just talk about fear free. What does it make it credible? How do we get a credible result? What does a credible election mean to ordinary people?
This is the way I see this. There is a government parastatal that's tasked with
conducting
election in the
That's
country.
INEC.
They've had 4 years to prepare.
Yes.
I know Nigeria is a very huge country.
Yes.
It's a difficult country.
Is it as big as California? Is it as big as
regardless,
India?
we
Is it as
cannot,
big
we
as,
cannot, we
China?
cannot, start.
Oh, America.
Yeah, I agree. I know where you're coming from, but we cannot start comparing, Nigeria with these states.
Yeah.
They're not countries like California and things like that. But because these countries or the states, they have the infrastructure in place. Right? They have electricity, they have means of communication, they have means of reaching the nooks and corners of their country to carry out this thing. That's why they can do it successfully. But we have had 4 years. INEC has had 4 years to prepare. Abba, the house where you build for 4 years, you not succeed, something wrong with you. And they've been doing it for a while now. By now, they should have perfected the art of making sure that things run smoothly. Ballot papers and the boxes are delivered to the places they are supposed to be delivered. On this program, some time ago, I muted an idea that might sound stupid to somebody, because you can't win everybody. Someone say, what is he talking about? Is he mad? But knowing the political situation in Nigeria, I did say that the president should declare a state of emergency 3 months prior to the election, because the country is awash with illegal guns. And we're talking these stocks. These stocks need to be nipped in the bud. Our army, what are they doing? Sitting down there drinking gogoro and abusing our electorate and citizens. Pour them out. The Navy, pour them out. The Air Force, pour them out. The police, pour them out. Let them secure the country, and a month before the election, let them lock down Nigeria. Because one Nigerian life lost during election is too many lives lost.
No doubt about that.
So for us to have that free and fair election where Mama Chukuma is not being stopped by Ghani from going to vote, and Usman Garuba is not being stopped by Nandi from going to vote, is removed. As Nigerians, we are all equal. We have a right to go to the polls and elect the people we want to govern us for the next 4 years. Therefore, why should one person intimidate me from going to? Even, you see, the annoying part of the whole thing, when you are busy, you have gotten your PVC, and then you are a thug. You are busy intimidating other people from going to vote. When do you have the time to go and cast your own vote?
Not even that. The ultimate result, which is going to affect everybody.
Affects you just as well.
Yeah, it's going to affect him even worse, because like I said, but like I said, I'm so happy to repeat that it's a good news that most of the well-known
thugs.
dogs are now
They are educating their children.
They are educating their children, not even locally.
They
They are
are
sending
there.
their children
Abroad.
now abroad.
You know
So they
why?
now
You know why?
Yes.
They shine their eye. They realize that the masters they are serving are sending their own children abroad for the children to come back and step into their shoes. So if I am a thug now and I send my own children to go to the same university that Tony, who is my boss, is sending, my children will come back together and they will look at each other and say, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I want to go to another area. We've been talking about the process and procedure, the process of educating the electorates, what and what they should do. How do we get electorates to find out the candidates, the quality of the candidates? How will you say to your mom? Because you know me, also Otumba is one of the candidates. Is my longtime friend, but you are not too sure of my
Pedigree.
my pedigree, my policies.
Yes.
How should we start talking to electorates when anybody? Is it the name they should be looking at, or their manifesto? And how do we get them to understand manifesto? Because most of our people
Yes.
genuinely cannot really read and write. How do we help them?
Yes. Well, I think the program is designed to do that, and to continue to do that, and that's why we encourage the viewers. Please share this program with all your friends and family. We want 180
Until when it gets to the
yes,
least place in
exactly.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
So
We want
yeah.
160 million Nigerians, whatever number they say we are.
180?
180.
That's
Why-
180 and growing.
Why did you just cut 20 million from 180?
Well,
Agreed. He's allowed to do that because maybe they are the 20 million. They are infants.
I just want to know because well,
we're not sure exactly how many we are. One day they tell us we're 160 million, the next day they tell us they want 180 million.
well,
We
let's
don't know.
use
So
180 million.
Let's use 180. So we want 180 million Nigerians to get this program. So please share it with all your friends and family in Nigeria and everywhere in the world where they are. So it's information. Information liberates people. And what keeps people in darkness is ignorance. And so even the young man or woman in the villages who doesn't know what to do, and if he's watching this kind of program every week, he gets the information. His mind gets illuminated. And now he begins to understand and begins to ask the critical questions. So it's information. And technology has made it easier today for us to get information, even to the most innermost parts of the country.
So what you are saying is,
yes.
come 2019,
Yes.
the candidates, at least they have idea of why they should vote, when to vote, who now to vote for is what we are talking about now.
Yes.
They should not take you because you are wearing this cap.
Babangida or Babariga and everything.
So they should ask questions. Yeah. They can find. Is it a way they can find out who you are, whether you have been involved in some
like
clandestines or maniferous, like what we see now. I'm sorry, I'll give it away in a minute because it has been established that most of the House of Rep and House of Senate, they are well known, not only talks, well known
crooks, criminals,
that, and we should not be afraid to say that out.
Yes.
This
of
is
course.
exactly what it is. So this is also part of what is killing the politics, killing the people. So an average Nigerian should find a way of finding out. Yes, I have not seen in the last 20 years. From nowhere he came, he want to be president, he want to be senator, he want to be this. Who is he? Call your children, call your sons, people who can Google,
Ifa, Oracle.
Let me check.
Ifa, Oracle.
Is it this person I want to vote for? All this also. What's your take? How do you add to that?
You see, before I actually will jump on that, you said something about people not being able to read and write.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you are deaf and dumb.
Right.
If you can talk, you can ask me, Amami Odakun won't kawe. Kilo winner.
Exactly.
What did you say?
You know what I'm saying? You say, I can't read, but what exactly is all this about? Then
Tell me.
tell me. He will tell you. Because he now realizes that Mama might be illiterate or Papa might be illiterate, but Papa has got what is known as street savvy.
Common sense.
Right? The common sense is there. And when they start asking questions and you know you haven't got anything good for them, that's when your mouth starts dancing kelewu. You know?
Jerry, I'm sorry to interject you. Are you saying this is a wonderful opportunity? Because I said the power we have here as diasporans is only when we send money home.
Yes.
Now we want to add more to this power.
Yes.
So come 2019 election.
Are you talking about political blackmail?
Yeah, no. Now
Of course it is political blackmail.
From each one of us.
Yeah.
And like Raleigh said, this program is being viewed. It's going to be more viewed when we upload on YouTube,
Yeah.
Periscope,
Twitter,
WhatsApp,
Instagram.
Facebook, and it's going on and on and on. And many people are going to get. Now we just want to add to this that the power we have now is to also say to our friends and family back home, let us know who
You want to vote for.
We will do the diligence.
Yes.
We will
We'll
check.
investigate them out
We
for
investigate
you.
and tell you. So does that make
It
sense?
does make sense.
Okay,
And
what
you also said something before you said this, is that it's come that time when we should purge our corridors of power of criminals.
Yeah.
You see, the judiciary is complicit
Yeah.
in allowing these people to be in government. As at this point in time, what are we doing to indict the known criminals who are in political position? Because I think there is something in our constitution which says and states categorically that if you are a criminal or you have been, convicted of a crime, you cannot hold political office. So if you have elected me to become your rep or your senator, and you, the judiciary, has found out that I have a criminal record, what is stopping you for asking me to step down?
Yeah, but I can chip in.
Please chip in.
Now, if one of the constituents
Yes.
or prospective voter,
Yes.
If I were to be in Abule Egba South or whatever constituency, and from nowhere Tony just appear on the scene, and I know Tony used to swindle, used to do a lot of things, not your Tony.
Yes.
It could be anybody's Tony.
I know.
You understand me?
Yes.
And I would just say, I'm going to make noise. The noise will start be.
But the
will-
judiciary
no,
knows. These
but
people
the
know.
judiciary don't come to you, go to the judiciary, isn't it? Is that not right?
Yes.
So
The
when I
judiciary
know,
cannot indict.
no,
It's the executive that takes protocol.
So let the executive now do their
let me
job.
finish. I will now say to myself, because I'm educated, I'm informed, and I know the procedure, and I know what to do. And because I have a good mind, I want to support the people in that constituency. That this time around, want to have a free, fair, credible, and also.
No, I'm not even talking about the incoming. I'm talking of those who are already there,
Yeah, well,
who we know
may-
are criminals,
Hang on a
and we
minute.
are still keeping
That
them
will still
there.
be- that will still be the same process, or the same process and procedure. I will now say, I know Tony, I've checked him out, and this is the truth. I've found out that this particular Mr. Akinola or whatever is not fit to govern. He's not fit to represent us. And now, if he doesn't, we will now tell him, say, Mr. Don't even campaign here because we know you, we know your antecedents, we know everything about you. These are the things I expect the ordinary people to say. If you say no, he might want to start to intimidate, but I can organize that. You cannot do that. Gone are the days you want to. In fact, the talks will the one that go
which
to
is a
fight.
function
So
of-
we now, if he doesn't listen, sorry, I'll let you in a minute. So I will now say, if you don't do it, we take it to court. I'm going to go to court, going to INEC,
Yes.
and get INEC to understand.
Even the
that this
moment you
particular-
even send a petition to INEC,
Yes.
it's enough for
That's the
INEC to
word.
tell the person,
Yeah.
step aside,
Get-
we'll investigate you.
Exactly.
But then because there's so much obscene money in Nigerian politics, now it moves hand in hand with corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And corruption is doing a whole lot of damage.
And also there's another thing we are not used to, the word convention. Convention, you understand?
Yeah,
Convention
political
where
convention.
that your name is mentioned
Yeah.
in
the midst of
any
something shady.
criminality.
Yeah.
There and then you step down, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
You keep saying, Tony, we are still in
Infancy.
infancy. And I want to disagree, and I will tell you, infancy has got nothing to do with Wike and the governor of other states using the money to come and advertise in UK. Just transferring the money. It's nothing to do with infant. That means
Even
they know
if you are-
exactly.
if you are-
understand?
if you are-
they are advanced, they know where to go and buy juicy properties.
They are not- they are not infant- they are not infants then, oh.
So why can't they use the opportunity to educate the masses?
Yeah, when I say we're
I understand, but I'm just trying to break it down a little bit.
Yeah, I get you. You know, when I say Nigeria is an infant democracy, I mean the masses as a whole, will not mature enough
to ask questions,
to appreciate the power that lies within us, and therefore use that power intelligently by mobilizing ourselves on the street level, on the city level, town level, and so on and so on, and going against our electorate. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So citizens have power, but if they're not aware, then they become like an infant that doesn't know.
And that's
its
when they
rights.
become complicit.
They become complacent, and then all this nonsense is going on. That's really what it is. It doesn't mean that, Wike doesn't know the right thing to do. He knows the right thing to do. But evil prevails where good men keep quiet.
Yes.
So is that why we are not keeping quiet?
Yes.
That is the more reason why we're not keeping quiet.
Why
You see, this
Heritage
program,
TV,
this
Absolutely.
program is lending you a voice. This program is asking you to ask questions.
Yeah.
This program is telling you, open your mouth, ask, talk.
Yes.
This program is saying, open your eyes,
What about
see.
a situation where, despite all this effort,
Yes.
despite all these efforts we are putting into it,
Yes.
and some people will say, Emma Download, don't listen to them, Jari. What should they?
Why would you tell somebody not to listen to us? Tell the person the reason why you don't
but
want.
this
No. Tell the person the reason why you don't want them to listen to us. We are telling the people that you are a force to be reckoned with. You are very, very powerful. But because you have not seen yourself in the light of being powerful, we are now asking you now, take a step back and look at yourself properly. And see what a force you are. Now, when you all come together and move, you will move mountains,
Absolutely.
right? You will move the country forward. You will, our leaders compared to us, look at the ratio. They are infinitesimal compared to the populace.
Absolutely. It's those ruling and running and governing Nigeria is no more than 200 men and women.
So you mean the amount of force?
Compared to 180
80 million people. Okay, actually, let me give it to them. Let's say they're 1 million.
Yeah.
Right? But
Compared to
1 million
100
and 180 million.
I'll tell you what happened in Romania under Ceausescu's government. And
I remember.
And Philippines under
I remember.
Okay.
I
Now
remember.
all these guys, they thought they were so powerful you could do it. But when the people went
people's
on the
power.
streets and they got to the parliament, they surrounded the place. They went into the building.
I think it happened in Ukraine some time ago.
It happened
in
The-
Ukraine
the
too.
yellow,
Yeah.
yellow movement or
Yeah,
something.
orange
movement. Yeah.
Orange Revolution.
Now, there's another area I think because of time.
Yeah.
There's this problem. We have said all these things. Sounds good, wonderful. German was a prima, beautiful.
Yeah.
But we now have a situation where our people, majority of our people, still have this ethnicity, religious sentiment, and say, if it is a Tony from Rivers, that's it.
Yeah. That's
If
correct.
it is a Otumba, Otumba as I already say is from Ogun State.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
I've always
Jerry
been
from
Calabar,
whatever.
from
That's it.
wherever.
In fact, so how do we fight this? That because you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian, and he's whatever. Because it's also a major issue.
Okay, I've
This
always
is a
been
major
an
issue.
exponent.
How do we say to them, Mama, it's nothing to do with Alaji or Alaja. It's nothing to do with Christianity, anything.
Yes.
This is your life for the next 40
If
years.
there's
How
a
do- how do
pothole
we-
on the
yeah.
streets.
Let me take Jerry first.
Yeah, sorry, Jerry.
I've always been an exponent of divorcing politics from religion. Right? Now, I'm going to break it down simple for even the most basic human being, right? The most basic Nigerian citizen to understand. It's this simple. Let's say your child or you are involved in an accident and you get to the hospital and they ask you to go and buy blood because without the blood, that person will not survive. Will you get to the blood bank and ask them if it's a Muslim blood or a Christian blood? So if you're not going to ask that question, do what's right. You're looking at a human being. You're looking at what he can deliver to you. Which reminds me, I think there's a president somewhere in Southern African area who banned all the churches in his country. And
That's
says,
Rwanda?
is it Rwanda?
Rwanda.
He banned all the churches and all the religious organizations. He said, if you want to come and become a preacher in my church, show me a certificate in theology. The country is forging ahead. Mr. President, time you do something like that.
Right. Because of time, I know again I've repeated that. And, I want to say to you guys that you are doing a very good job, and I hope people do appreciate us. And what is key today, the good news I want to repeat is there's no more room for Togre in politics of Nigeria.
talks are
take
enlightening
advantage
now.
exactly. Because for me, I kept that clip.
I still
Say,
got the photograph.
Now this sheepdog of around Oshodi area
I sent his
choosing
children
to send his children
to Ivy League.
Ivy League University in America. And he's also in interview and say, all things being equal, I might also go back to school.
Right.
So what talks? In fact, we should not be. I'm sorry to even refer to any human being as talks, because there's nothing that's good that is going to come out of talk. I want to thank you guys. It's been another edition of Nigeria Decide 2019. As usual, without your contribution, this program might not be so as good. And not to talk of Jerry. I'm very grateful.
Thank you for having
hopefully
me.
next time when we meet, it's going to be, we agree, we want to see to our viewers, we'll be rotating the thing. So because if one person is not around, another person can do it. You know? So there's so much love, the energy here. We want to transfer it to you guys, and that is total. Now, before we go, remember the beauty of this program is the education we are disseminating to you, we are giving to you, pass it on. And the only way to do that with modern technology is use all the outlets.
Share it.
Share it.
Share it.
Share it on your
On your
WhatsApp,
Facebook.
friends and family. We're going to send you a copy. I mean, the copies automatically will come to.
The link is there.
The link
As
is
long as
there.
you're
Will
watching
come on
us,
the,
share it.
YouTube is going to be on Periscope,
Instagram, Twitter,
Facebook, and WhatsApp, and all. So it's only the list is endless. So you can send it to everybody. Ita Paco or whatever.
Benny,
anywhere.
Ita Faji,
and
anywhere.
You know what? The good things is coming your way, and I'll tell you why. If you vote for a very good people, a very good party, very good with good programs,
good candidates,
Nigeria is going to be like New York, because it's only because there are good people that are ruling them. That's why there are a lot of things. There's no different from here, and it's the same on the ground of this world. So, I want to thank you very much for listening, for watching this program again. It's me. My name is Otumba Olabode Oseni. Thank you very much and good evening.
Oya nínú ògo, Oya nínú ògo. LOC.
God bless you.
LOC.
God bless you.
LOC.
God bless you.
My people out there, our mother in Christ, Reverend Mother Dr. Esther Abimbola Ajayi, is asking us to come and celebrate the Comforter. Where? United States of America, 4041 Broadway, on Saturday, the 28th of July, 2018. Don't forget, 4041 Broadway, New York, United States of America. Come, let's celebrate the Comforter.
Yes, the mighty hand of God shall liberate you at the second anniversary and powerful revival of Hour of Peace Evangelical Ministry that will take place on the 29th June 2018. Time 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at Global Conference Hall, Selina Lane, Dagenham, RM8 1QH, opposite Dairy Crest Milk Industry. For further information, call 0739 9198 946 and 0755 0804 352. Because it is time for God to work wonders in all areas of your life, and your goodness shall be permanent. Join us as you shall experience peace in Jesus' name.
If you believe in His power, it's never long to walk. 2nd year anniversary, and a great revival.
Oh, hello. Are you over 50? Come then. Let's narrate your story on the Ultimate 50 Plus Club. You see, this program is specifically directed at you all over 50 plus. Where were you born? What's your childhood like? What school did you attend? What have you done? Where have you been? Where are you going? What's your story? Your hopes and aspirations. See, we on Heritage TV would like to rub minds with you regardless of your status, education, or position in the society. The door is open. Come walk down memory lane with us. Step in. We're looking forward to seeing you.